Okay, greetings, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants joining us from across the world. My name is Julie Mwea. I serve as the Senior Program Officer at the AAPAM Secretariat in Nairobi, Kenya. On behalf of the AAPAM fraternity, I cordially welcome all of you to the second AAPAM Innovations webinar, themed Innovation and Impact, Institutionalizing Innovation in the Public Sector. At the organizational level, innovation is a key constituent of the AAPAM mission, along with capacity building, research, and partnership. Through the annual Innovative Management Award Program and knowledge-sharing platforms such as this webinar, we strive to ensure that innovation in the African public sector is nurtured, recognized and celebrated, and widely disseminated to enable replication and adoption as best practices across institutions. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 2 hours, we will present a robust roster of programs, including a keynote address, the report analysis from the 2025 Innovative Management Award Program, the presentation from the 2025 Innovative Management Award winners awarded at the Kingdom of Eswatini, and as well as interactive polls, which will be running in the course of this webinar. We request you to kindly keep your mics muted until requested at the Q&A session, and we welcome your active interaction through the chats and the reaction icons. On this note, it is my pleasure and honor to invite the Secretary General, Professor George Scott, to deliver his welcome remarks. Professor Scott.
Thank you very much, Julie. Dr. Jane Kerry Mbunya, Principal Secretary, State Department of Public Service, Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital and Special Programs of Kenya, who is also the Vice President Headquarters of AAPAM. Mr. Joseph Olugbenda Dada, MNI, the AAPAM Deputy President. Mr. Latif Nabiev of the Division Chief, International Affairs of ASAN, in Azerbaijan, Professor John Mary Kauzia, Chairman of the AAPAM Jury, Mr. Samuel Macharia, Secretary of the AAPAM Jury, jury members, IMA presenters, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the African Association for Public Administration and Management, it is my great pleasure to warmly welcome all of you to this innovation webinar under the theme, Innovation and Impact, Institutionalizing Innovation in the Public Sector. We are very much delighted to have you, all of you, to join us from across the continent of Africa and beyond for this very important engagement. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's webinar creates an opportunity to deepen our understanding of how innovation can be embedded within the public sector in order to deliver efficient and effective results. The Innovation Management Award Program, which was showcased during the 44th AAPAM Roundtable Conference in Eswatini, provided a valuable reference point for this discussion, highlighting practical examples of innovation in action. This, therefore, and this session provides us with another opportunity to present, to listen to the 5 award-winning innovations which were submitted and presented at the Roundtable Conference at Eswatini in December 2025. Further, this session will reflect on the policies, leadership approaches, and institutional frameworks required to move from the stage of promising ideas to sustainable transformation. Through this discussion, we aim to further disseminate these approaches to all countries on the continent and to position innovation as a continuous and integral part of good governance across our dear continent. We encourage all of you to actively participate, engage with the presenters, and take full advantage of the opportunity to exchange knowledge and insights. We encourage other African countries to replicate and possibly adopt these innovations in their countries. APAM remains committed to facilitating any necessary sharing, collaboration, and learning among various countries in line with our mandate of promoting excellence and professionalism in public administration and management across Africa. In that respect, APAM will help facilitate any country which wants to follow up on or adopt any of these submissions in innovation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, I have the honor to welcome Mr. Joseph Dada MNI, the Deputy President of APAM, to officially open this webinar. Again, I warmly welcome all of you to this webinar, and I welcome Mr. Dada to take the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible?
Your audio is not that clear, so I don't know if you...
It's not clear at all.
No, you're still having an issue with the background noise.
Wow. And I'm not sure there is anything on here that is...
Now you're clear. Now you're clear.
Okay. Let me start before. Mr. Nativ Nabirian, Division Chief, International Affairs, Azerbaijan, Dr. John Miri Kauzi, Chairperson of the jury, Mr. Samuel Machara, Secretary of the jury members, IME presenters, and distinguished members, all. On behalf of the African Association for Public Administration and Management, APAM, extend warm greetings from APAM Executive Committee, Council, and Secretariats. It is my great pleasure to address this important webinar under the theme Innovation and Impact, Institutionalizing Innovation in the Public Sector. I extend my sincere appreciation to all participants joining us from across Africa and beyond, including public sector leaders, practitioners, researchers, development partners, and members of the APAM community. This webinar brings on the outcomes of the 44th APAM Roundtable Conference held in the Kingdom of Eswatini, where the Innovative Management Award Program showcased remarkable public sector innovations from across the continent. I take this opportunity once again to appreciate all the IME winners represented here. These innovations demonstrate the ingenuity and commitment of African public institutions in addressing complex development challenges and improving service delivery for citizens. Today's session provides us with an opportunity not only to celebrate this achievement, but also to reflect on how much such innovations can move beyond pilot initiatives and become embedded within our public sector systems. Across Africa, governments are increasingly confronted with evolving governance demands, digital transformation, climate resilience, economic inclusion, and rising citizen expectations for efficient and transparent services. Innovation therefore becomes not merely an option, but a necessity. However, the real challenge lies in ensuring that innovation does not remain isolated or short-lived. Instead, it must be institutionalized through supportive policies, leadership commitment, organizational culture, and sustainable financing mechanisms. It is within this context that APAM continues to produce knowledge exchange, capacity development, and recognition of best practices through platforms such as the Innovative Management Award. The IMA program has, over the years, highlighted practical solutions developed by African institutions, solutions that demonstrate how innovation can strengthen government systems and improve public service outcomes. Against the foregoing, the objectives of this webinar are to: one, highlight African public sector innovations that have achieved sustainable impact; two, share practical strategies for embedding innovation within public service institutions; three, examine leadership, governance, and policy enablers for sustained innovation; four, promote peer learning, replication, and scaling of proven innovations; five, strengthen awareness and engagement with the APAM Innovative Management Program; six, explore avenues of effective and impactful sharing of innovations that are experienced through the IME; 7. Solicit proposal for subsidy support and avenues for facilitating the implementation of demanded innovations. The major outcome of this webinar are to, 1, enhance understanding of how innovation can be institutionalized in the public administration. 2, equip participants with practical tools for sustaining and scaling innovations. 3, strengthen networks for collaboration and peer learning across Africa. 4, co-create knowledge products on innovation that can guide policy making. And finally, increase participation in AAPAM Innovation Management Award and Knowledge Program. Therefore, in the course of this webinar, we hope to have insight from distinguished speakers and presenters representing institutions that have successfully implemented innovative initiatives in areas such as digital governance, service delivery systems, and technology-driven solutions. These case studies provide valuable lessons on leadership, collaboration, and the importance of scaling innovations for broader public value. I encourage all participants to actively engage in the discussions, share experiences, and reflect on how these innovations can be adapted and replicated in different contexts. Through collective learning and collaboration, we aim to strengthen the culture of innovation within Africa's public service institutions. As APAM, we remain committed to supporting governments, institutions, and professionals in advancing responsive, efficient, and citizen-centered public administration across the continent. This webinar also serves as an important platform to encourage continued participation in the IME Award Program and to further strengthen our continental network of innovation champions. In conclusion, permit me to express my appreciation to our distinguished speaker, members of the IME, our esteemed presenters, moderators, and of course, but last but not the least, the APAM Secretariat for their dedication in organizing this important event. With these remarks, it is my great pleasure and singular honor on behalf of the Executive Committee to officially declare the 2026 APAM Innovation Webinar opened. I wish you all fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dada, for officially opening this webinar. In your address, you have rightly pointed out that digital transformation, climate resilience, economic inclusion, and increasing citizen expectations are some of the challenges that indeed innovation can not just be an option, but a necessity in terms of addressing those. So thank you for that opening remark. And on this note, it is my honor and my pleasure to invite Mr. Latif Nabiev, the Chief Division International Affairs from Azan, Azerbaijan, to share his experiences from the Azerbaijan ASAN One-Stop Shop programs. Mr. Latif, you have the floor. Thank you.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much. Distinguished representatives of the African Association for Public Administration and Management, Mr. Deputy President, Mr. Secretary General, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Latif Nabiev. I'm the Division Chief for International Affairs at the State Agency for Public Service and Social Innovations under the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, commonly known as ASAN Service. It is with great pleasure to join you today in the webinar organized by AAPAM titled Innovation and Impact, Institutionalizing Innovation in the Public Sector. I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to AAPAM for extending the kind invitation for participation, as well as for gathering practitioners, policymakers, and innovators who are united by a shared vision to improve public service delivery and strengthen the existing partnerships between various countries and actors in this area. Public sectors today face a continuous challenge that is growing with each day. Citizens expect services not only to be accessible, but also increasingly efficient, transparent, and responsive to their needs. At the same time, governments must operate under increasing pressure to deliver more with limited resources, and in such environments, innovation, in our experience, is no longer an optional luxury, it is simply a necessity. However, innovation alone is not enough. A pilot project, a new digital tool, or an isolated reform may produce short-term results, but lasting impact requires something more. It requires the institutionalization of innovation, the process of embedding innovative practices into the existing structures, systems, and most importantly, the culture of public institutions. Today, I would like to share the reflections from the experience of the Republic of Azerbaijan, particularly through the ASAN service model and our cooperation with over 30 countries where this model has been adapted and implemented. Through this experience, we've learned that innovation becomes meaningful only when it becomes sustainable, scalable, and institutional. When we speak about institutionalization of innovation in the public sector, we're not only referring to the introduction of new technologies or launching modern facilities. Rather, we're referring to a systematic transformation, one that reshapes how institutions function and how services are delivered. In this regard, institutionalization of innovation means that innovation becomes an integral part of the system rather than depending on individual initiatives or temporary projects. It becomes embedded in legal frameworks, operational procedures, human resource development, and the overall digital infrastructure. In practical terms, institutionalization of innovation in our experience rests on several key pillars. First, there needs to be a supportive legal and regulatory framework. Innovation alone can't succeed without clear rules that enable the integration of services, secure data exchange, or streamline administrative procedures for service delivery. Secondly, there needs to be institutional capacity and human capital. No innovation can succeed without skilled and motivated civil servants who understand not only how to operate these innovative tools or systems, but also why those systems exist in the first place. And thirdly, citizen-centered design. Innovation must begin and end with citizen if we're talking about public sector. Public services in this regard should be designed around user needs rather than our institutional convenience. Allow me to briefly share the experience of Azerbaijan in this regard. More than a decade ago, in 2012, the government of Azerbaijan embarked on a journey to transform public sector and public service delivery landscape as a whole. The objective was simple yet very ambitious: to create a system where citizens could access multiple government services in one place, where day-to-day operations would be transparent, efficient, and accountable. The vision eventually led to the establishment of the Assan Service Centers under the state agency, that is us, which function today as modern one-stop shop facilities that bring together the services from various public institutions to a single location. Today, the state agency operates 28 Assan Service Centers across the country, all of which grant citizens access to over 400 services delivered by 15 public and 30 private institutions. However, the innovation of this model did not come from the infrastructure or innovative solutions applied therein. Innovation came from the institutional change. As Assan Service does not provide this services itself, but rather functions as a unitary platform whereby different line ministries and institutions provide their services according to a set of uniform standards established by the state agency. Service delivery processes at the Assan Service have been standardized. Workflows and citizen journeys were redesigned. Bureaucratic hurdles previously associated with services were reduced. Most importantly, a new culture of service delivery was cultivated, one that prioritizes citizen satisfaction and transparency of operations. The philosophy is that once the citizen enters the Assan Service Center, all the essential services, both public and private, are within their reach, without any unnecessary complexities or inconveniences involved. As a result, today, the citizen satisfaction rate at the Assan Service Center stands at 99.8%. To some people, this may actually seem like a very huge number. However, to arrive at this statistics alone, we utilize over 7 types of feedback instruments, ranging from various exit polls to a dedicated call center, in order to ensure that our findings or statistics speak for all segments of population. Over time, Assan Service has evolved from an innovative project to an international institution. It became a symbol of public service modernization, innovation, an example of how innovation, when institutionalized, can deliver a lasting impact. Yet perhaps the most valuable lesson from Azerbaijan's experience in this regard is this: innovation becomes stronger once shared. What began as an innovative solution in Azerbaijan soon started gaining recognition in the international arena. In 2015, the Assan Service model was awarded the United Nations Public Service Award, one of the most prestigious international recognitions in the field of public administration, in due regard to its contributions to the enhancement of citizen-centered service delivery. This recognition obviously further encouraged us to further share our experience with partners across different regions and continents, and to support the development of modern, citizen-oriented public service systems beyond our national borders. To date, we've signed over 30 memoranda of understanding with various governments and international organizations to foster close collaboration in the field of public service delivery and innovation. Through these sustained and often intensive partnerships, countries such as Ethiopia, Uganda, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Uzbekistan have already adopted the Asan service model by adapting it to their national contexts, and as a result, today they're operating their own one-stop shop public service delivery centers. In parallel, obviously, we also maintain active collaboration with a wide range of international actors, such as the United Nations, the African Union, various development institutions such as the Islamic Development Bank and the Asian Development Bank. However, we also highly value our partnership with AAPAM, with whom we've concluded a memorandum of understanding in 2022. This was actually signed during the international forum marking the 10th anniversary of Asan's service in Azerbaijan. This partnership with APAM reflects our shared commitment to promoting innovation, strengthening institutional capacity, and advancing excellence in public administration for everyone. This is evidenced by our today's webinar, which features all the members, most of the members who are in charge of public administration. So again, I would like to use the opportunity to thank APAM for making this possible. Public and private partnerships also play an equally important role in sustaining innovation ecosystems. In Azerbaijan, the state agency has supported the development of collaborative, innovative platforms such as the Inland Incubation and Acceleration Center. This brings together the public and private sector actors, including startups and emerging entrepreneurs, and providing them with necessary support for project development and scaling. Through such partnerships, innovation is nurtured, tested, and scaled, creating an environment where public sector transformation is supported by private sector creativity and technological advancement. From the beginning, our focus was not merely on the construction of physical public service facilities. The emphasis was on building the systems that integrate the services, enhance transparency, and improve citizen access to public institutions through effective use of innovation. This process, in our case, once we were actually engaged abroad, involved numerous stages. We began doing the feasibility assessments, during which our team analyzed the legal environment, the institutional structures, and technological landscape. It was in this sense essential for identifying both opportunities and challenges. It continued with capacity building and training, because ensuring that civil servants were equipped with necessary knowledge and skills was absolutely necessary for them to be able to operate their own public service centers. And it also included, obviously, the technological integration, making sure that there were better workflows and the overall service coordination was better managed. However, most importantly, the process involved continuous dialogue and adaptation. No model or innovation, in our experience, can be simply copied from one country to another. Each system must reflect local needs, institutional culture, and governance priorities. Through these experiences, we've drawn several lessons, and that may be relevant for governments seeking to institutionalize innovation. First, innovation must be citizen-centered. The ultimate measure of success is not technological sophistication, but rather citizen satisfaction. It may be a very small thing, but at the end of the day, if it actually yields high citizen satisfaction, it means it has worked. Secondly, innovation must be institutionally owned. Sustainable reforms require commitment from leadership and engagement across multiple levels of government in order to ensure that there is political will for the innovation to come into place. Third, innovation must be supported by clear legal frameworks. Without regulatory clarity, even the most advanced systems can face, obviously, operational barriers. Fourth, innovation must be supported by human capacity development. We can't speak of any innovation unless there is training or knowledge transfer involved. These are not optional, they are essential. First, innovation must be continuously evaluated and improved. Just because we've come up with an innovation doesn't mean that that's the end of the story. Obviously, it's subject to continuous development and the growing expectations of citizens. These lessons remind us that innovation is not a destination, but rather a continuous journey. Another key element in institutionalization of innovation is partnership. Public sector innovation rarely occurs in isolation, and today's webinar is kind of an evidence of that. It depends on collaboration between government institutions, international organizations, and often private actors. Platforms such as this, platforms such as, webinar organized by AAPAM play a critical role in facilitating knowledge exchange. They create opportunities for governments to learn from each other's experiences and adapt best practice to their own contexts. Partnerships also foster trust. When institutions work together, they create networks that support innovation beyond individual projects. At the same time, citizen expectations are evolving. People are increasingly expecting the services to be accessible remotely, delivered quickly, and supported by transparent processes. In this evolving environment, institutionalization of innovation becomes even more critical. Governments must build systems that are flexible, resilient, and capable of adapting to emerging challenges. In this regard, the institutionalization of innovation closely aligns with the broader continental and global development priorities reflected in the Agenda 2063, the African Union's strategic vision for inclusive and sustainable development. Obviously, we all know what that is, but it's a very important document that everybody in Africa abides to. Same in this case, for instance, in our case, it's the SDGs of Agenda 2030. The experience of Hassan, in our case, demonstrates how institutional innovation contributes to the direct achievement of sustainable development goals. In our case, the Hassan service supports the SDG number 9, the emphasis on innovation and resilient infrastructure, SDG 16, effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions, as well as SDG 17, partnerships for sustainable development. By simplifying administrative processes, strengthening transparency, and improving access to essential services, institutionalized innovation enables governments to translate development commitments into tangible and sustainable outcome for citizens. Distinguished colleagues, this theme of the webinar is ultimately about building public institutions that are trusted, efficient, and responsive. It is about transforming ideas into systems, systems into institutions, and institutions into a lasting public value. Above all, innovation must not be seen as one-time initiative, but as a permanent function of governance. As governments continue working towards aspirations outlined in Agenda 2063 and Sustainable Development Goals, the role of institutional innovation becomes increasingly vital. By embedding innovation in governance systems and fostering collaboration between public institutions, private sector actors, and countries, we create pathways towards sustainable, citizen-centered progress. The experience of Azerbaijan demonstrates that when innovation is institutionalized and supported through strong partnerships, measurable and lasting results can be achieved. In our case, for instance, I've seen that there was a question in the webinar saying that it's all talk, but in any case, I can talk about this experience a lot. For instance, last year we were establishing the MASOP centers in Ethiopia together with the government of Ethiopia. It involved a very tenuous process where we had to analyze their legal landscape to ensure how innovative one-stop shop model could be easily replicated there. And this innovation, obviously, we're talking about innovation. It's not an easy, straightforward process. It's a multifaceted process. As a result, in April, that MASOP Center was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Mr. Abiy Ahmed. And now today, they are operating 36 such centers across Ethiopia. And obviously, this is one of the examples where our partnership with Ethiopia has yielded innovation that has also yielded in innovative practices for citizens. And at the current stage, the satisfaction rate there is over 98%. Similarly, we've also embarked on a 3-month plan recently with the government of Pakistan. We've established the Pakistan Asan Khidmat Center there. And this is yet another example where our innovative practice of one-stop shop was replicated in Pakistan. But again, this shows that partnerships are crucial in this regard. So allow me to conclude by reaffirming our strong commitment to continued collaboration, shared learning in advancing public sector innovation, and extending our sincere gratitude to AAPAM for convening this important platform for dialogue and cooperation. If you have any questions, I'm more than welcome, but thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Latif, for that very insightful presentation, sharing your experiences from Azerbaijan. I'm sure we'll have questions that will be asked at the end of the session. But just to reiterate what you have mentioned, some of the building blocks in terms of institutionalizing innovation, including having a strong legal and regulatory framework, and then having institutional capacity and human capacity, that is something that we're also sharing across with APAM, the need for upskilling public servants so that they can also improve their capacity for nurturing innovation, for institutionalizing innovation. And of course, the power of partnership, and this is what is symbolized also with APAM and ASAN coming into collaboration. We hope to have programs that will also ensure that our public servants get an opportunity to go to the ASAN one-stop service shops and be able to learn more practically, more experientially through the ASAN program that they have launched. So thank you so much, Mr. Latif, for sharing those experiences. We will be sure to get back to you with questions. At this juncture, let me introduce Mr. Samuel Masharia, the Secretary of the APAM jury, to come and give us the report analysis from the IMA 2025 program. Mr. Samuel Masharia is part of a 7 team of APAM jury members, which sits together and adjudicates all the submissions received from the continent with regards to innovation. From last year's experience, he will be able to share with us how the continent is performing in terms of the numbers, which are the trends that we are noting in the continent. Are we having digitally enabled innovations or more process-involved innovation? So with no further ado, Mr. Samuel Masharia, the APAM jury team, you're welcome to take the floor. Thank you. Mr. Masharia, you have the floor, sir. Professor Kauzia, maybe you could advise.
I can see Sam is actually with us. Is he the one trying to share, or it is someone else?
Yeah, I'm sharing from my
Okay. Maybe as we sort out somewhere is the summary of the report, I could say this, which is something that has been. Am I on?
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Yeah, which is something that has been coming out of the work of the committee in assessing the nominations for the IMA. And we have been trying to answer the question of what drives innovation. And I think this we could share it as we sort out Sam's presentation. And I'm not going to make a speech in this regard, but just to make a list of what has been emerging as some of the practices that drive and sustain innovation in public sector institutions, and not only in Africa, but across the world. The very first one is service-oriented transformational leadership that can push public servants and encourage them to be creative. The second one is what we have been talking about, institutionalization. That means making innovation part and parcel of public service delivery. The third one is community engagement and empowerment. And the fourth is encouraging teamwork. And the fifth, I think, has already been said, sharing innovations and using ICT as catalysts, partnerships and collaboration. On this, I should say we really need to encourage many African countries to participate in this competition so that we can share the innovations that are going on in different public services. And then long-term strategies so that innovation can drive future thinking, or future thinking can drive innovations. And then monitoring and evaluation, which encourages spotting what is going wrong or what is going right, and using the lessons learned to improve performance. Dedicated public servants who are also competent and empathetic, meaning that they sympathize and they dedicate service to their fellow citizens. Something also that emerged is effective command, because there are very many policies and strategies that are designed to encourage innovations and performance improvement, but then you find command structures don't make them work. So effective command is one of those practices that can push for innovation. Capacity building has already been mentioned, and it cannot be overemphasized. It is not possible to use an incompetent public service to drive innovation in the public servants. Sam, can you confirm that you are around? Otherwise, then we would have to let the winners and those who participated in Eswatini to make the presentations, because really we want to listen to them.
Well, we seem to have lost Mr. Macharia, but distinguished guests, let me just mention that Professor John Kauzia is the chairperson of the jury. So what he has mentioned is part of the report that the jury was going to present to us, the results from the 2025 competition. Just to reiterate what he has mentioned is that we have been seeing numbers that are a bit dwindling in terms of the innovations coming from the African continent. So through this webinar and through all our concerted efforts with our partners and all our stakeholders, we hope to ensure that innovations within the African continent are brought to the fore so that we can encourage their replication. So at this point, Mr. Macharia, if we cannot have you, unfortunately, let me just announce that. Sorry? Right. So this webinar, we shall share the report from this webinar. So it shall include the analysis from the IMA. So we will include this in the final report that we'll be sharing with all the participants. So if you would allow me, I think then at this point, let me invite the Secretariat team to project the polls so that we can have participants also give their input on this. We have raised critical questions in terms of if governments are trying to institutionalize innovation, at what stage they're in. So by this poll, I think we can be able to also evaluate and see where we are and what efforts can be put in terms of capacity building, in terms of training and upskilling that we as AAPAM and together with our partners can be able to focus our efforts within. So kindly, the Secretariat team, please project the polls. Right. So the webinar poll has been projected. The first question is talking about which ministry, department, agency is responsible for spearheading innovation in your country. So you can put a short answer therein so that we can just understand what your country is experiencing and where your country is. This will form part of our baseline. Then the second question is, has your country submitted an innovation to any of the programs? We have included the United Nations level awards. We have included the African Union, the Public Service Day program. And then we've also included the AAPAM Innovative Management Awards, because we have seen over the years that the AAPAM award serves as a sort of a stepping stone towards going into the African Union and further to the UN level. We have seen innovations that have come through AAPAM go through and winning at the UN level. So we want to also understand whether countries have submitted to any of those. Or if you're not sure, also, you can also give us that feedback. Number 3, if your country has submitted an innovation, did it receive the award? So you can also tell us which award was received, whether it was at the UN level, the African Union level, the APAM level, or you're not very sure on that. So we request for your indulgence in that, and then we'll share the results at the end of the webinar. So I hope that is clear for everyone. At this stage, allow me to now invite my co-moderator. It has been a pleasure moderating this first session. For this second session, it is my pleasure and honor to invite Ms. Siata Stevens, our Young Professionals. She is the Executive Director for the President's Young Professionals Program, coming from Liberia, and also an executive member of the APAM Young Professionals Network. Ms. Siata Stevens, I invite you to take over the session and invite the IMA presenters. Thank you.
Many thanks, Julie. Good morning to all. The President and the Secretary General and Deputy President of APAM, the Division Chief of International Affairs of Azerbaijan, the Secretary and members of the jury, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to moderate this session of our webinar. We will be listening to presentations from our Innovative Management Awards awardees. They will be presenting to us, making 5 presentations to us at this time. Each presentation is expected to last for 10 minutes. And let me just go straight into this by calling on Mrs. Victoria Ilangwa, Director of Corporate Services from the Local Government Integrated Information System, Zambia, for her presentation. Thank you. The floor is yours, Mrs. Victoria.
Okay, good morning. My name is Victoria Langwa. I was not so sure that you called in me to start first. May I ride on the protocols that has already been established before and recognize all who are present today, this morning. I am sorry that I am unable to display my video, and this is because I was having some issues with my passcode on how to navigate into the Zoom platform at this stage, because we had another meeting, and as I came into this meeting, I was not able to follow those protocols that were really given ahead of time. Now, without further ado, I would like to first thank the management of APAM for giving us this, according us this opportunity to also showcase and interact with you virtually on what we have done with our innovation at Tanzania Fertilizer Regulatory Authority, where I work. I am unfortunately not with other members because it is parliamentary session, and most of them are in the parliament assisting the ministers and other government officials to answer questions and stuff regarding our ministry at the institutional level. Now, the innovation that we submitted was a fertilizer system, as a digital fertilizer system, subsidy system. And this system was actually not entirely built in by our internal experts, although it is a government system. We collaborated it with the private sector, and that shows the great appreciation that we have with the private sector youth. But the idea came from our organization. And after it was built, the system is really very easy to use, and it has yielded a lot for us. It is a digital fertilizer system in which farmers across the country and uses it to access issues pertaining to fertilizer when they want to get the price, when they want to get the product, and when they also want to access. We have added values that even when they want to access some information about financial, like they want loans and stuff. To say why this was important to us, it is because we are primarily in Tanzania, 80% as per the last census involved in agriculture. So having a system that will actually allow farmers to be able to access products it has a very big gain to us as a nation. And when they accessed it, it is very it actually has a lot of controls, and they get notification in their phones. They get an OTP in which they are able to buy the product through the OTP, so they get the subsidized fertilizer. We are able to know who has bought what. We are able also to trace their farms. We are also able, through that system, to test their soil. So there is a soil testing that is done. That is an added value, apart from them having only to buy it, because the system was only for us to be able to monitor and track public coffers that goes into the subsidy to enable us to know that it is going to the right people and that it is not being misused. But again, it has actually proved to be very beneficial, because it now gives us real-time reports on how much, farmers who are registered into the system. We have over 7 million farmers who are registered into the system. We know their demographic, we know their location, we know their soil condition from where they are. And through use of the system and them being able to use it, the government has actually gained a lot. And we have showed when we were presenting in Eswatini, products such as maize, that has increased 10 times. Fertilizer usage has increased. And also, farmers are now able to know the condition of the soil that they have before starting to plant, and to know which type of fertilizers to use. And this has been, after having the system, us as a fertilizer regulatory authority, we were able also to attract other crop boards to come and tap into our system. So we had the coffee board who came to tap into our system for the farmers that are also registered, who are doing coffee activity. We also have the cashew nut board also have replicated, are using our system. They have not replicated, but they are using the existing system that we have. At least 10 other boards, cereal and other produce board, that is called Copra, that is for all the cereals. So you will see that only one system for fertilizer, but it has actually added value to all the strategic crops in the country. And, as cashew nut is number 2 in terms of exports and giving us the forex from what we are getting. So from what they are exporting outside. So all these are in the system, and the government now can know the trends, the cashew trends, the strategic crops trend, the cereal and the other produce trends. But also the key issue that why we started it with fertilizers is also able to be projected and be known. And we have actually able to increase yields from 300 metric tons to now 949 metric tons of fertilizer after introduction of the system. I think I'll just stop here.
Thank you so much. It was great listening to you. I apologize for the mix-up. You are from the Digital Fertilizer Initiative in Tanzania, and I'm pleased to reiterate and applaud that your innovation collaborates with the private sector and the young people. And we noticed also that there is an increase in maize production 10 times, and then you've increased the fertilizer from 300 metric tons to 900. At this juncture, I would like to go to the next speaker, who is going to talk about the Timani Chabot Eswatini Water Services Corporation, Eswatini. I will give the floor to the Director for Business Enablement and Corporate Affairs, Ms. Nomalubi Matiwani. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Please give me a second as I try to share my screen. Please kindly confirm if my screen is visible before I continue. If it is visible.
Yes, it is, but put it in presentation mode, please.
No problem.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, and respecting all protocol, as has been mentioned previously. My name is Nomalubi Matiwani, as introduced. I'm Director responsible for business enablement. So this incorporates responsibilities around the management of human capital, responsibilities around stakeholder management, including communications and public relations, as well as corporate services, which includes property management. My boss typically says I'm responsible for any other business within the corporation. I'm here together with the Senior Manager ICT and the Head of Customer Experience within Eswatini Water Services Corporation. This is the outline of the presentation that I will go through. So we will talk about who we are as an entity, and then we are predominantly responsible for water service provision in the Kingdom of Eswatini. And we will look at the digital platforms that we utilize, including the overall digital transformation of the corporation, and then focus on the two innovations which were submitted, as well as the benefits that the business has realized thereof. So by way of introduction, we are Eswatini Water Services Corporation, a body corporate established by the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini to provide water services in the Kingdom of Eswatini. So this is clear water, as well as wastewater services. In our vision, it is really an intention of the business to delight eMaswati in the provision of these services. And it is our endeavor, previous speakers have highlighted the importance of human capital, particularly as we innovate as different entities and government institutions. So we make sure that, or it is our intention that as we deliver this vision, we do it through engaged employees. It is our belief that we would not and we will not be able to deliver value to eMaswati unless we ensure that we have capable, we build the human capability, that is, we train, we provide the requisite resources for our employees to innovate, but also to solve customer-related issues. So it is our endeavor that we work through engaged employees, through available technology, but also whilst ensuring that we are good custodians of the environment. So what we are currently responsible for just over 77,000, and as you can see from that slide, that is how that this is the growth trajectory in terms of our direct customers. These are connections directly into households. But of course, we treat the customer as the person that has an account with us, but also the users of the water, whom we call water beneficiaries on the overall. So these numbers are simply talking to the actual customers, but in terms of the users, we then multiply this figure by 5 or by 7 as we move into the rural areas. We provide our services through direct customer connections, but also we do communal services. So these figures are not also inclusive of the communal standpipe services or water kiosks, because we also put up what we call water markets around the Kingdom of Eswatini. So in the last, let's say, 2-3 years, the government, through our utility, has invested a total of $126 million in infrastructure development. And this is around 4 big infrastructure projects that we are currently implementing around the Kingdom of Eswatini. This is for the delivery of water services, so that we are able to also deliver sustainable goal number 6, but also in terms of the national development strategy. It is the intention of the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini to ensure that every Liswati in the kingdom has access to potable, safe water for drinking, and we also expand sanitation services in the Kingdom of Eswatini. So the $126 million is distributed as follows. So we have a project that is to the value of $54 million that seeks to provide water services to a total of 110,000 Emaswati. And we have another one that is to the value of $40 million that seeks to provide services to another 38,000 Emaswati. We also are implementing a cross-border water services project to the tune of $15 million where we are providing a total of 18,400 Emaswati water, and then crossing over to our neighboring country in Mozambique, where a total of 23,000 Mozambican nationals are set to benefit under this project. The last project is to the value of $17 million where a total of 25,000 Emaswati are scheduled to benefit from water services. So what does this mean, and why is this important in the services that we provide? As you can see, we as a utility, from these 4 projects, we are looking to inherit or to absorb a total of about 242,000 water users on the overall. And we need to be able to onboard these customers within the service service platforms that we are currently utilizing. As it stands, we have around 35,000 customers that walk into our service centers. So we actually have physical service centers distributed across the Kingdom of Eswatini that allow for physical transaction or physical engagement with our customers. So from these, we realize around 35,000 walk-ins. The backdrop again is that we do have a high data book. So we do have customers that are owing the utility for services. So it has been an imperative for the business to innovate around how do we make transacting or engaging with the utility much easier and to the convenience of a Emaswati, and address this issue of willingness to pay for services that are rendered by a government or a government institution. So with against the backdrop of inheriting so many customers and trying to kill the pain points that are realized by the utility, we do realize that it is important for us as an institution to move from traditional service points to digital service points. And why do we do this? First and foremost, there is expanded reach that is brought by digital service models. There is also a resource efficiency from the part of the Liswati or from the part of the customer or the institutional perspective. So for water services in a month, a customer averagely pays around maybe say $9 US. But if we continue maintaining these physical offices, it means that there is a transport cost that eMaswati incur as they try to transact with us. So that increases that water service cost to around $14 US. So that then essentially means if we introduce these digital platforms, we are making it cheaper for eMaswati to have water services in the kingdom. But also we allow them to transact in the comfort of their homes, the comfort of their offices, or anywhere they may want, whether to report a water-related complaint or to even request for services in their different areas. So we found that there's really lots to be benefited both by eMaswati as well as the utility if we introduce a digital service model. Again, this is the backdrop in the Kingdom of Eswatini as we introduced these innovative solutions. First, in the Kingdom of Eswatini, there is around 88% electricity coverage, because we will appreciate that digital platforms do require electricity to be available for them to be fully functional and to be effective, as it were. We also have a 81% smartphone penetration in the Kingdom of Eswatini. The 3G coverage is at 99%, while 4G coverage is at 80%. So this for us was fertile ground for us to effectively believe that if we innovate around digital platforms, the customer is certainly going to benefit, because the digital infrastructure allows for that to be effective in our kingdom. So this is why we then embarked on the EWSC digitalization journey on the overall. And I think another pillar to make this quite effective is that we allowed ourselves to work with what we call third-party institutions. So you find that as a utility, we integrated our systems with the banking sector in the Kingdom of Eswatini. We integrated as well our systems with the telcos, telco companies in the kingdom. So as a utility, we work with all banks in the Kingdom of Eswatini. And what does this mean? It means that if you have a Standard Bank application, you're a customer of Standard Bank, and you have their application, you are able to interact with our utility utilizing your Standard Bank application. So you are able to pay for your water bill using the Standard Bank application, or be it First National Bank, you are able to utilize your First National Bank application to pay for your water bill. Same with the mobile purses that are provided by the telco companies in the kingdom. So we made sure that our third-party channels allow for systems integration with our service provision. And then I do also want to mention that, as we mentioned, we said that there's 81% smartphone penetration in the kingdom. So it means that there are other customers that are actually not utilizing smartphones. And we made sure that we do not leave any of our customers behind. So we have integrated a USSD self-service code for our customers that are utilizing feature phones. And they are also able to pay their bills using the USSD code to report any faults, and to even do their own self-meter reading and by balance inquiries. And then zooming into the two applications that we will be presenting or are presenting today. So before that, we are available also on social media platforms. All social media platforms are utilized for customer engagement. We also have a service center that allows for digital transactions with our customers. So we have, in the last so many years, introduced what we call an EWC mobile application, as well as a chatbot we have called Temandi. Emandi in Eswatini is water. So we've called our chatbot Temandi. And Temandi is a feminine name, or it's a female name. And we were intentional about ensuring that we give water a female face, because it is our belief that water in the different communities is primarily the responsibility of women. So we made sure that this application, our chatbot, as you can see from the slide, has a female face, the pretty lady we call Temandi, and this is our chatbot. So Temandi is a chatbot that we deployed, and it operates on a WhatsApp platform to meet customers where they are most active. So WhatsApp is a very common and highly utilized platform in the Kingdom of Eswatini. So we made sure that we utilize it for the full operationalization of our chatbot. And unlike generic service bots, Temandi offers tailored water utility functions, so such as you're able to inquire about your bill, you're able to make payments, you're able to report your faults, and it is delivered with the speed expected in a modern digital era. As I mentioned, that it is integrated with the use of WhatsApp, and it handles various customer requests, as it were. And then second to our Temandi chatbot, we also have what we call an EWC app. So this is an app that centralizes all EWC customer services. Previously, these services would be available across disparate channels, but we've been able to bring this into a one-stop shop, which is a cohesive interface that reflects both novel and a unified approach. And we are happy that to date, we've successfully onboarded a total of 33,000 of our customers onto the EWC app. So this accounts for about almost 40% of our customer base that we've successfully onboarded into our app, and they are transacting and engaging with us utilizing this app. And we're happy that we've seen a continuous growth in terms of even the collections that we are making utilizing this app from customers. And on the overall, because of the appetite and utilization of these both innovations, we are happy that, sorry, I think I've skipped a slide. Yes, where I'm highlighting about the collections. You can tell from this trend line that where we are comparing physical collections to digital collections, you can see that to date, whatever we are collecting as a utility is predominantly now collected through our online or digital platforms. And this increase has been realized over the years where we've introduced both applications. And we do realize about a 25% year-on-year growth in terms of the EWC app. And there's been exponential growth in terms of utilization of our Temandi chatbot. And we do believe that as per this growth, as it reflects, it has provided, first of all, inclusive service delivery, because it ensures equitable access across all demographics and geographies within the Kingdom of Eswatini. It also allows for the closure of the feedback loop in terms of feedback mechanisms. It improves the user experience or Emaswati experience as they continue to utilize our services. It translates further to reduce costs, where customers, as mentioned earlier, are able to save their money by not having to travel to physical service centers. The high number of customers that, so the projects that I was highlighting are all scheduled for completion in the year 2026. So they should be concluded, and in fact, all of them are at the penultimate stage. So we are expecting that in 2027, we will be bringing in these customers to start utilizing our services. So essentially, this would have meant that we now, as a utility, will have to build more physical service centers, but we are intentional that we are not adding a single service center, even if we onboard this number of new customers, because we believe the digital platforms better serve Maswati than physical offices from a resources perspective, but also from just the ease of doing business with the utility. So this saves us, because you can imagine the energy costs that come with physical offices, the human resource costs that come with setting up offices, and then the costs that are then borne by the customer who now have to travel to our physical offices. So essentially this has been, we believe, beneficial for both Eswatini Water Services Corporation, the Kingdom of Eswatini, as well as Maswati on the overall in terms of water services and sanitation services as provided for by Eswatini Water Services Corporation. I think that brings me to the end of our presentation today, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. It is good to hear that you're putting a female face to water, and this conversation is relevant as well because we just celebrated World Water Day, and also the focus as a custodian of the environment. Thank you very much for your presentation. At this time, we will also move to the next presentation that will be done by Mr. Anthony Tuo, the Assistant Communications Officer, Kenya Port Authority. He will be talking about Cargo Pay, Kenya. Over to you, Mr. Anthony.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. All protocols observed, and good afternoon. Seek support from the AAPAM support team.
Welcome to Cargo Pay, the revolutionary 24/7 payment processing facility developed by the Kenya Ports Authority. What exactly are the features and benefits of Cargo Pay? With Cargo Pay, you have a real-time payment solution at your fingertips. Say goodbye.
Sorry, that was just the audio. I believe they are working on getting the video in display. Audio, please. Kindly unmute. I'm requesting the support to kindly provide the video and audio as well.
We're trying to working on it.
Welcome to Cargo Pay, the revolutionary 24/7 payment processing facility developed by the Kenya Ports Authority. What exactly are the features and benefits of Cargo Pay? With Cargo Pay, you have a real-time payment solution at your fingertips. Say goodbye to the constraints of traditional. Now you can pay port charges anytime, anywhere in your currency of choice. Cargo Pay enables users to transact at their convenience anywhere in the East African community, while ensuring security and availability of proof of payment at any time. Managing invoices has never been easier. Cargo Pay streamlines the process, linking your invoices, generating payment references, and allowing you to make payments with just a tap on your phone, tablet, or computer. Cargo Pay offers users multiple payment options, including PaySaLink, mobile money, bank cards, and real-time gross settlement transfers. The user can choose what works best for them. The customer portal is designed with the user in mind. Now you can take control of your deposits, clear and reconcile invoice payments, all through a simple and user-friendly self-service platform. Experience the future of port charge payments with Cargo Pay. Register today by visiting https://cargopay.kpa.co.ke.
Good afternoon from my local time in Kenya. My name is Anthony Poo, representing on behalf of Ports Authority. I hope I'm clear on your end. Please confirm it.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are clear enough.
Thank you very much. As second as the support team doesn't display this particular presentation. Yes, thank you very much. My name is Anthony Thuo from Kenya, representing Kenya Ports Authority, which is a government agency, and our innovation today is Cargo Pay. Next slide, please. Part of the presentation, I'll be able to give an overview of what Kenya Ports Authority does, its mandate, and also its impact on global scale. Next slide. Next slide again. Well, Kenya Ports Authority was established in 1978 through an act of parliament. Our core functions are to develop, operate, maintain, and improve and regulate all port operations. Besides our mandate scheduled seaports, we have also inland waterways, as well as ferry services that we have adopted. Next. Our core vision is to become a world-class port of choice, and our mission is to provide efficient and competitive port services to facilitate global trade. Our core values are pillared on customer focus, integrity, teamwork, innovation, and care. As a port entity, we are in the maritime sector. Our core services include marine service, where we have services such as pilotage, mooring, stevedoring, and the likes, but that is separate from what I'm about to present. Besides that, we have cargo handling. Please, previous slide. We have cargo handling, where we do shore handling, we do stripping of cargo, as well as identification, verification of cargo. Also, we have also adopted the ferry services, because Mombasa, which is a location in Kenya, which is an island, we have to connect the mainland to the island, so we've adopted ferry services for that. At the port, we have 19 berths in total. In layman's language, a berth is basically where a vessel can park. So we have 19 berths in total, 6 which are dedicated towards the container terminal, where we handle container cargo or consignment. As for the 13 other berths, we are able to handle conventional cargo, which is cargo that normally comes in loose or bulk nature. On top of that, we have the cruise terminal, which is a multi-purpose berth, which is berth number 1, where it acts as both as a conventional cargo terminal and also a cruise terminal. For the oil terminal, we have 3 of them. That is Shimanzi Oil Terminal. We have Kipevu Oil Terminal, that is, you can see on your screen, denoted as KOT1 and KOT2. For KOT1, we have recently decommissioned it because it was an old oil facility, and we have developed a new oil facility, that is Kipevu Oil Terminal 2. The difference between the 2 oil facilities is that Kipevu Oil Terminal 1 can only accommodate 1 oil tanker at a time, but for Kipevu Oil Terminal 2, which is an island berth or terminal, can handle 3 vessels at a go, 3 oil tankers at a go, with a provision of an extension of 1 extra berth for that particular purpose. We have the Mbaraki Wharf, where we normally receive concrete, or rather clinker consignment. We also have the oil port. Another commercial port that we have is the Port of Lamu. Separate from that, we have decided, because the port is just an entry and exit point, we opened up facilities within the country, or rather the hinterlands, just to get closer to the customer, to bring services closer to the customer. We have 4 of them, that is Inland Container Depot in Nairobi, Naivasha, Kisumu, and Eldoret. We are also available in Kampala, Kigali, and Bujumbura, that is in Burundi, where they are also our partners. The Port of Mombasa, as many may know, is a key exit and entry point for cargo. We serve the East African region. We are a central point for cargo entering into the East and Central Africa. The markets that we serve is Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, Tanzania, North Tanzania to be specific, South Sudan, and Ethiopia through our Lamu port. We extend our services through our inland container depots, as I had mentioned earlier, that is in Nairobi, Naivasha, Eldoret, and Kisumu. Reason as to why we had to expand this is because a port is not a storage facility, but rather an entry and exit point, meaning we need goods, or rather commodities and consignments, to be able to move. We do not wish to withhold any consignment that arrives at the port. We wish to take it very fast to the customer. So purpose of this is to extend port services closer to the customers, and also reduce container dwell time at the port. Next slide, please. As you can see, these are the regions where Kenya, or rather the port of Mombasa, serves. We have Somalia, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Uganda, as I had mentioned earlier, as demonstrated here. Next slide, please. As part of our working ethics, we had to introduce a single customs territory, where the Port of Mombasa in itself does not work in isolation. We worked in tandem with other government agencies that include the Kenya Revenue Authority, which collects revenue on behalf of the Republic. The Kenya Ports Authority normally does stevedoring, which is the loading and offloading of cargo. We work in tandem with the Immigration Office, who do the verification of who are supposed to be on the vessel and who not. We have the Kenya Navy, who are to support security, Kenya Coast Guard, who does the surveillance. We also have the Kenya Tourism Board. Whenever we receive the cruise vessels, they are our partners. Besides that, the single customs territory is supposed to facilitate free circulation of goods. That is all imported goods and exports as well. Next slide, please. to our innovation, which is Cargo Pay. When Cargo Pay was introduced, it was introduced in 2023, mid-June. This came about through a presidential directive. As you can see through this import process business, we used to handle the cargo between 13 to 18 days. But at the moment, ever since we introduced Cargo Pay, we are able to handle it between 4 to 8 days. You are supposed as a client to go through all these processes, but we have tried as much as possible to reduce the number of processes to be able to assist the client. Next slide, please. As demonstrated here, we have 2 documents. The first document is a clean document, as you can observe. The second document is all the processes that a client needed to undergo. He or she needed to get all these terms from the various entities or stakeholders that are involved in the port business. That is from immigration, you would have to get a certification, a stamp from the Kenya Tourism Board if it's a cruise vessel, from Kenya Revenue Authority that you have cleared payment of duty. All entities must have signed. So you can see on our right, we have a very dirty, for lack of a better word, document as compared to the document that you received as a customer. Next slide, please. At the authority, that is Kenya Ports Authority, we have 2 systems that enable us to operate. That is the SAP Systems Applications Product. This is an internal system whereby staff are able to apply for leave, request for payslip, and also be able to engage with management through that particular platform. As for Kilindini Waterfront, this is a platform whereby it is an automated platform where cargo is able to move in and out the port through this particular channel, and it manages the entire cargo process, including the documentation, tracking, and container movement, as well as storage at the port. Next slide. Our innovation, which is Cargo Pay, this is how the interface looks like once you log into our HTTPS. That is cargopay.kpa.co.ke. Next slide, please. From the inception of Cargo Pay, which arrived at mid-June, that is in 2023, it came about to actually address some challenges. There was no instant clearance of guaranteed invoices, instant payments before delivery of consignments, and also bank operational hours limited us from working. Kenya Ports Authority is a 24-hour organization, meaning we work around the clock, and other government facilities that also are present here in Kenya may not have adopted this particular 24-hour service. But for us, it is a 24-hour service, and it is well known. Here, banks in Kenya normally operate from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. But as I had mentioned earlier, we are a 24-hour economy, and we needed this service from the banks, that is 24-hour service. So our clients are able to pay for these charges even when bank hours are closed. The reason as to why we did that, or rather what forced us to do that, is because of lack of system features for handling our customers. And also, we needed for them to actually be able to be open, and you are able to pay for these particular services at any particular point or time that you are needed to. So for us as KPA, we identified this problem because we were not able to transact past bank hours. Hence, we were needed to if at all we were working towards becoming a world-class port of choice, whatever was needed of us is to perform in a way that our clients are able to access our services even past banking hours. So next slide, please. We had to engage several banks within the region for us to get a solution towards addressing this particular issue. We went ahead and engaged the National Bank of Kenya, the Citibank as well, and Stanbic Bank. But the closest that we came with in terms of our solution was with Stanbic Bank, who gave us a solution whereby they were able to cater for customer service, 24-hour banking for our customers, and also 95% port processes were only done through an e-wallet platform. That was the project of which they delivered to us. So for CargoPay, it is an e-wallet platform which enables the customer or client to be able to deposit money within that particular e-wallet, and they are able to access port services and port charges and pay their port charges through this particular platform. It does not matter where you are. It gives accessibility and flexibility. You can pay for it from whichever country you are in, and the better part is you can actually pay for this service through your local currency. Part of the benefits that CargoPay has introduced is that you are able to access the CargoPay platform through a multi-channel. That is, we are able to pay through various platforms, including RTGS, mobile bank applications. In Kenya, we have a service called M-Pesa, where you are able to send money through your mobile phone to a recipient, and is able to receive that money and withdraw the same money. We have RTGS and other modes of payment as well. You are able to pay using your local currency, which is our emphasis. We serve the East African Community region and also Central. So you are able to pay using your local currency. That is the advantage this particular platform provides for you. We have also, yes, thank you. We are also able to ensure that our clients will be able to get the invoices ready through that particular platform and pay for it. It is a 24-hour cashless system that we have adopted. Next slide, please. Ever since the introduction of CargoPay, we have been able to register an influx in cargo throughput. In the year 2020, we were handling 34.12. 2021, there is an increase that is 34.55. And currently, that is in 2024, as per the data presented, was at 41.1%. Next slide. As for container traffic, we were handling, that is in 2020, we were handling 1,359,579 TEUs, that is 20-foot equivalent units, as compared to in 2024, we registered our highest, that is 2 million TEUs. That means that ever since the inception of CargoPay, we have been able to onboard many clients to join this platform, as opposed to how it was, where you used to queue to get these stamps ready and for you to get access to our services. As for the container traffic, we have noted it is at 2 million as compared to 1 million as it was. For transshipment cargo, we used to register 175,827 TEUs as compared to what we have as seen here, which is at 491,666 TEUs. In terms of revenue collection, in the year 2021 to 2022, Kenya Ports Authority used to collect 49.3 billion TEU shillings, as compared to 2022-2023, where cargo pay was actually brought about. We can see an increase that is at 57.7 billion shillings. From 2023 to 2024, there has also been a significant increase that is at 65.23 billion shillings that the country has collected in terms of revenue. For our markets, we work with Rwanda, Uganda being our largest shareholder with 65.7%, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, Tanzania, and others which include South Sudan and Northern Tanzania. And I believe that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Ms. Siata, are you there? We can go ahead and call the next speaker. All right, so let me take over from Ms. Siata. Our next presentation will be focusing on, yes, Siata, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Julie. I think it was a bit of a technical issue, but thank you to Mr. Anthony. Our next presentation will focus on local government integrated information system, Zambia, and we will now turn the floor over to Mr. Donald Wanza, Director of Public Health, Acting Town Clerk, Chipata City Council. Over to you, Mr. Donald.
Hello, thank you very much. This is Donald Mwanza from Zambia, presenting an innovation on local government and local government integrated information system focused on revenue enhancement for local authorities. My name is Donald Mwanza, and actually as I speak right now, I've moved to Nakonde Town Council near the border of Tunduma, Tanzania. I'm now the council town clerk for Nakonde. So I'm presenting from here where I am, but I'm still going ahead with that because we did this that time in December. I was leading the team in Eswatini. So thank you very much for having me, and all protocols observed. Just an introduction of, we are a local authority, like in other countries, you'd call them counties or municipalities. So this system I'm going to present is about an innovation in digitalizing revenue collection for local authorities. Can you go to the next slide? A case of Chipata municipality. So what was the problem which we had, which led to us to have this innovation that we developed? First of all, we had a lot of problems in terms of on-source revenue. You know, municipalities handle levies and municipal services. At the same time, we do levy the local people in terms of businesses, whatever they do, activities that are done. So we collect levies from there. Now, to manage those levies so that we can efficiently prepare and deliver services to within the municipalities or city, we had problems in all the 116 local authorities in Zambia in terms of a system that will manage various levies and revenues that the local authority brings in. So we had problems with that, and that led into inefficiencies. We had a lot of leakage in terms of people stealing money from local authority because it was handled by people. You know, where we had handling of cash by humans, there's always error. Before it is banked, people have delayed banking. We have a lot of audit issues. Then as a result, the money was not in, we were not getting in the required revenue, and hence service delivery was very poor. So that was the major problem that we had. That is going back from 2019, going backwards. Next. So what did we do with those problems that we experienced? Through experience and working hands-on, we developed a system, an automated system, which is very comprehensive, a digital platform that is able to bring in the modern way of handling revenue management, physical systems into the local authorities, using our own teams, our own people with experience that we are having. And this system, we called it local government integrated. Integrated in the sense that it is able to bring in all other programs that the local authority or the municipalities handles, and bring them into one platform and be able to do reconciliation and produce statements, all other issues that are needed for us to manage it. Hence the word integrated. Because the municipalities in Zambia, we handle markets, we handle land issues, we handle businesses, levies. So all this in one system, hence the term integrated. And at the same time, it provides information. That's why we called it tailored for the local government, and it should be integrated, all systems in one, and it provides information. This is why we called it this way. Thank you. Next. So with that, our homegrown digital solution platform is able to handle, it produces a centralized database that is able to bring everything in one line and be able to get information at the click of a button whenever we needed it, and be able to know where are we doing more or where are we doing less, where is our revenue coming more, where are we having less revenue, what should we do? It's able to interface in terms of banking systems, billing, GIS systems, also with the mobile service providers. We're able to interface and link with them so that all this information that we have, we are able to reach out to all our clients and provide service to them at their comfort of their convenience. At the same time, I said integration, meaning it's able to be integrated in all aspects and connected, both external and internal, banks, mobile service providers, and whichever way a person would want to get a system from us or information from us, they'll be able to get it through this platform. And it is real time. You click on a button right now. If I want statements to know, right now in Zambia, we are just a few minutes to afternoon. If I want to check what has been coming in from 6 a.m. to now, and by the way, it's 24 hours. So anytime what has been coming in, I'll just click, check through. It will give me platforms. Do I want a statement? Do I need to check who has paid from where? So in real time, it will give you me this. Even the client is able to receive feedback immediately, instant. So it makes our financial database very easy and accessible at any time, and also produces audit trails that we are able to trail the transactions and vice versa, from the beginning to the end and from the end backwards. Next. So the system that we developed, it's real time, as I stated, in terms of billing. It enables instant generation of services and initiation, and able to complete transaction in short time. Actually, what we can call record time. And for all this, we have specific, it is able to produce what we call barcodes or QR codings, which is an in thing now that everything is with the QR code. It can never be duplicated, or it can never be, there can never be copyright of it. It's its own origin, and we are able to relate it with a specific client with a specific service or product, so that no one is able to imitate or replicate or cheat in one way or another. Like I said earlier on, there was leakage. So no one is able to steal money from a client or a client stealing from us. We're able to tell through this system. And with the integration with the mobile platforms, people are able to pay. We are the first to introduce this using the USSD code on 4466 hashtag, and Chipata will appear. Now, as we go on, more municipalities have joined. And this has made us be able to reduce risks that are associated with handling of cash by individuals. So the council has seen, or the local authority has seen, enhancement and security, and our resources that come in is safe. And also, it has helped us now to, yes, to the next slide, we can move to the next slide. We have now, with this achievement, we are able now to have efficiency in terms of our collection of our revenue, accountability, and also people have now gained confidence and trust. Backwards, in Zambia, the public had lost confidence and trust. And we were not able to give them. With this system coming on board, they are able to interface with us anytime on any platform, and they're able to have. So that has actually helped us to have public trust and because of this, we have proven that this is the best practice. Management oversight can never be emphasized. Actually, in terms of monitoring, it's on spot. And we are saying the local authority has actually overcome operational challenges. We have built more transparent and efficient and responsive financial system and increased on-source revenue, which I will show in the next slide. You can go to the next. Okay. So with that, the benefits that have come with are that we have eliminated revenue leakages. We used to have a lot of people stealing. We have a lot of disciplinary action because of people stealing money from the local authorities. And now that has been reduced, drastically minimized, or eliminated in some instances completely. We have maximized our potential in terms of revenue. If you look at the graph shown there, 2018, we were actually below 10 million kwacha for Chipata in terms of revenue. But as we enhanced the system, in 2019, we went to 15 million. 2020, we were at, we went to almost between 19, 18 million. 2024, 2023, we are about 30 million. 2024, we are actually 35. 2025, we were just doing our statements, we have netted 40 million. So the more we enhance, the more we use this system, actually our revenue keep increasing. So this is how the graph has been from the moment we have this innovation coming in and bringing on board of this integration and having given our clients or the public different platforms or options for them to access the municipality, hence our revenue going up. And service delivery, now we are able to provide services proper because money has increased, and then we have no choice to say we don't have money, but money is here, let's give back to the community. So we are able to provide services to the local authorities. We are able to provide markets, street lights, and drainages, maintenance of road networks. All this is because of our revenue going up. In terms of salaries, paying of actually salaries, we had problems, most of the councils. But because of this system, we are actually on top. Next slide. So what are the challenges that we faced as we introduced this innovation? First of all, in Zambia and Chipata in particular, we had, it's now that we are developing, we had actually limited infrastructure regarding digital reforms. So ICT programs, we had very, very, very minimal, if at all, crude infrastructure. It's now with the enhanced in terms of revenue, we have gotten funding, we are able to access resources, we have pumped in more to build up our infrastructure. Some time back, even this time I've taken to do a presentation, it would not be possible because we not have these IT systems in place. But now I'm able to manage to present internationally on real time without any interruptions, meaning our ICT infrastructure has developed because of revenue that has been coming in. Intermittent in the connectivity in Zambia was actually, even now we still have a bit, but it's improving. That was one of the challenges we had as we were developing our system. The teams to adopt to technology or to adopt to reforms, it was really hard. We had to take a lot of trainings to have mindset change for them to accept, to say change is here, and we need to work with modern technologies for us to advance. It's now that most of the teams are seeing the revenues coming in, that they are realizing, say, oh, this change actually was really for the good cause of everybody. Because of that, they could not see the benefit immediately. We had a lot of resistance. They were not ready because they were benefiting the confusion. People benefit. So those that benefit in the confusion, they will try by all means not to support the innovation or to actually downthrow the development. But we managed to go through to kept on training them, emphasizing. A few accepted. With those that accepted, we said, let's move on. For example, I was running a public health department. Immediately, I was the first one as a department to embrace technological innovation, to say all the systems, all the documentations that we had manually, we integrated them into the system and everything became digitalized, and hence the department seeing the benefits. And that's when other departments followed suit. I have spoken about human rigidities. You know, people are just skeptical about change. When you talk of anything new that they've never experienced, they've never seen, they've never heard of, we say we are going this way, they will really be, it was a hurdle for us, for them to change. We have also laws that are still, but I'm happy to report, Chair, that now we have, our government also has taken keen interest to make reforms towards digitalization. And we have a national institution called Smart Zambia that is actually championing the digitalization process in the country. And with that has come with a change and regimes in terms of legislation, statutory instruments, acts also of the country, so that we can move with time and fine-tune our digitalization process so that we remove these rigidities, resistance from humans, as well as even systems. So as a result of that, we have seen, we also had issues of fragmented systems, manual processes, and this also delayed for us to make sure that the innovation we did came into action. We started this as way back as 2016. In our small way, in our back office, during the day, during the night. But for us to apply it, it started in 2018, 2019. And the benefits could always be seen coming to 2019, going onwards. It's now 7-8 years down the line that we are able to see the full potential and the benefit of this innovation. Next slide. So, are we ready to roll it out to other cities, municipalities within Zambia, even in the region of Africa? Yes, we are ready and we have started. In this slide, I'm showing that, yes, we have started commercializing it, and the national, actually, through the Ministry of Local Government, they have said this is the best system for local authorities. We embrace it and let it be rolled out. So those cities that have indicated there, we started with Lusaka, which is the capital city. It has also seen unprecedented increase in their revenue. Lusaka just took on board this system last year, June. Today, they are comfortable. Today, they are increasing their revenue and they are bringing in more modules onto their system so that it becomes full-fledged. They are actually still running the journey. Siavonga, it's a city near the border with Zimbabwe. They have taken it up. Ndola is a second to Lusaka. Solwezi is in the mining town, in the mining region, northwestern, closer to Congo. Choma is within the deep southern of Zambia, Chilanga as well. Nakonde, this is where I am now. I was brought here to come and bring in this system, which we have started, and we are already seeing that because Nakonde is at the border. I'm happy. I'm actually looking forward to come and get cargo pay from the previous speaker, that we can see how we can integrate our shipping, because we also have dry ports here and border crossing. So we want this system to integrate with our border crossing system for the on-source revenue for this city I'm here. So is Kasama. So this is where we have rolled out so far, and many more cities are online coming to take up this system. Next. We are saying the local government integrated information system stands as a strong example of how digital transformation can drive operational excellence and the physical sustainability in local authorities in Zambia, in Africa, and many other regions. If we do not embrace change, we are not going to be part of the future. But we have started this, and we are part of the future as well. So for us to take the leading role, we need to be on the innovative side and taking innovation as the way to change and transform how we run public sector. So with this innovation from Chipata City, already about 10, 12 cities, municipalities are seeing the benefit, are seeing to change and improve in terms of running public services to the general public in Zambia. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I zeroed into the specific topics that we were advised to present. So that is the part of Chipata Municipality Introduction and Innovation, a homegrown solution of digitalization. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wanza. I want to remind all participants to kindly write down their questions in the chat. We are a bit running out of time and may not take a lot of questions, so please feel free to write down your questions in the chat, and then you will get response directly. At this time, I am pleased to recognize the next and final speaker from the United Africa Government Youth Friendly Innovation Program. Join me and let's welcome our pioneer presenter for this segment of our program, Mrs. Mariam Abdullahi, Assistant Director, Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation of Nigeria. Over to you, Mrs. Mariam.
Yeah, good morning. Standing on all protocols and saying good morning to the panelists and everyone there. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Mariam Abdullahi, Assistant Director, Development Program in the Office of the Head of Service of Nigeria. The team, Innovation and Impact Institutionalizing Innovation in the Public Sector, speaks directly to the evolving role of public service in Africa today. As governments, we are increasingly challenged to deliver services that are not only efficient, but also innovative, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of our citizens. Innovation is essential, but it must translate into real impact. Our goal is to ensure that policies, reforms, and new ideas lead to measurable improvements in service delivery and quality of life. So this webinar provides an opportunity for us to learn and have insight into all the happenings across our continent. Foremost, our submission in the IMA December 2025 was on the government youth-friendly innovation programs, accelerating SDGs achievement through digital transformation in policy. The federal government of Nigeria has done, because of our sheer number of population, we have a lot of innovations on the pipeline. Some are already working. The youth empowerment, that's one of our innovations, is the youth empowerment from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Employment. It's focused on the youth programs, employment and skill entrepreneurship entrepreneurship, then digital economy inclusion. We tend to use the Empower to create more jobs for next slide, yes, which has already been working. The Empower program, the beneficiaries are 900,000 as at the last count. They've been given the stipends, the skill training, improved employment outcomes, because a lot of them now, the stipends they use and the acquired skill they have, they use it to bring up their own, start up their own businesses, which helps to reduce the log in the labor markets for Nigerians. Also, next slide, please. Also, we have other, this JIP, fair money, trader money, farmer money. Yes, that's the meaning of the JIP is we have the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program. This provides loans for people in the rural area and some in the urban area to support small traders. We have a lot of people who are having growth that cannot sell their produce because they don't have ideas on how to get it out. So this provides the community, they come together, they get this money individually, bring their produce together and bring it into town to make it easy access for them to sell what they produce, to make it easy for even the citizens of the country to access what the produce that they have made. So it's a collateral-free loan. You collect the loan from the federal government and you pay back in installments. You have, Nigeria has really gone digitalized. So digital is part of us now. You know, even the traders that you feel is not educated, they can all access on their mobile app without US SSD. They can access money, they can access everything and get this loan with little questions and answers, but it's collateral free. It supports all the small traders. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. The UWIN, this is for the youths, basically. Most of our youths that are languishing, waiting for the white collar job, a lot of them are keying into this innovation. It's business funding. They grant from 2 million to 10 million as startup development, depending on what you bring to the table. If it's livestock, if it's fishery, if it's other produce business, you bring it up. Some are going to start maybe mobile app, mobile shops and all these things. So they are granted up to between 2 million to 10 million as a startup. You pay in installments. You are granted this so that other people can come and access it. When you are paying, as they're collecting, some are paying, you can access it also. Mm-hmm. Next slide, please. Mm-hmm. So next slide, please. You know, then the Bank of Industry in Nigeria, that's BOI, are the ones that brought this innovation. You are trained, you have to get a certificate from the training that you are really qualified to get their loans. Once you get the loans, you can now start your own businesses. Everything that the federal government is doing is to reduce dependency on federal civil service jobs alone, so that all the youth can know that I don't have to be a white-collar officer before I can achieve success. Nigeria, our population is already a plus for us. So the market is there. It's just you knowing what you want to do. You know, it's you knowing what to do. So back of industry, provide this loan, train the people first before you are granted the loan so that you can start your own business. It's a startup too, you know, because for the sheer number of Nigerians, we are so many, we need a lot of innovation that can carry different people along. A lot of innovation, and every aspect is specific to what they want to do. Next slide, please. So this is the NYSC self-employment pathway, entrepreneurial focus. When our children finish their school, a lot of them come back home, sitting down, waiting for jobs. Application here, left, right, and center. They are always applying. Some of them will tell you, I've applied 40 times, I haven't gotten a job. That's the reason why when they're doing their youth service, they are encouraged to participate in this program. Once they participate, by the time the 1 year is up, you become a self-employed person. There are some of them that came out, they were able to get some money. They started this livestock ram farms. A lot of them now, they don't even want to do any white-collar job because the money they are making, the federal government can pay them in 2-3 years, and they can make that much money in less than 2-3 months. So these are things that we encourage our youths not to just see that, oh, it's only I have to be here, I have to be here. No, success can be achieved in so many ways, but it's how we go about it. So the federal government is encouraging our youth more and more and more to be what? Open-minded and look into things that they can do to succeed. And pay, thereby bringing in their quota into the system. Next slide, please. This is talent development. This is what the NITDA, we have our Nigerian digital training agency here. They are teaching people on the tech talent development, the AI cybersecurity, even in the head of service. They take us on a lot of programs so that everybody will be aware. Once you are digitally trained, it's easy for you to compete, and it's easy for you to access a lot of things. You know, so you will not say that, oh, I don't know. There's no I don't know in the world anymore. The world has evolved. We're now a global village. So you can go on your own, search for whatever you want to search for, and try to achieve bigger and better things. So AI and cybersecurity is one of the largest training program that NITDA are doing now. And they go across all MDAs, and some of them go into our states and local governments to train people to know that, no, we can't do things like we were doing it before. Things have really gone far. So it's really global competitiveness for everyone now. And so far, so good. They are really doing good jobs because they've been here severally, and we have so many trainings with them. Next slide, please. This is all part of what the NITDA are doing. That's the digital literacy, the remote work access, and these foreign income potentials is part of what they're saying that, okay, they can help those that are trained to source for grants, right? That's funds from other, the NGO, wherever, so that they can use it and build into the tech industry. So this is really a win-win for everyone here in Nigeria. You know, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Agriculture. This is where I like most because we have to eat. You know, Nigeria, farming is one of our major things. We have like the Benue, the River Niger area, everywhere. Farming is one thing in Africa that we use in sustaining our people. So there's so many agri support from the Ministry of Agriculture. You know, they helped in getting seedlings at no cost to the farmers. for better yields in their produce, to increase productivities and every other thing. And they help to assess fertilizer on a discount. So this really helps the farmers to get good seedlings and better productivity produce from their farming. So this goes really into the remote area of Nigeria that people are really harnessing, because they send people to sensitize people, their staff to sensitize people in the rural area so that they would not say, oh, I don't want, this is not good seedling. Oh, no, we don't want this, it's GMO and what have you. They create awareness for them to know that, no, this is not GMO. This is seedling that can yield better produce for you. Next slide, please. Yeah, and youth financing, loans and grants. I've talked about that. This is loans and grants, job creation, reduce employment. These are part of what is it's helping our youth in Nigeria, because we have a massive number of people, you know. So because of everybody has gone really digitalized, so you can access all these things on your apps. You just need to download the app, go digital, get all this app, then access the grant, answer all the questions they need, tell them the job you want to do. If it's part of what they know that, okay, it can be done, you get your loan and you start up your business. So this helps us to reduce the unemployment of our youth in Nigeria. Next slide, please. This is a vocational education training. We have a lot of teachers, but some of them, they have the low grade 2, the lower education qualifications that they started the job with. Some of them did not improve on themselves. So that was why this was created, the vocational training. So they go for this vocational to improve themselves so that they can improve on their teaching skills and impact better knowledge on our younger generations. So they get the skill, they become much more confident in their teaching skills because they've gotten added qualification. It's certified, they get their certificates, and you can actually see some of them that have already gone for this training. You can tell by their teaching method and the skills they acquired. So it's really, really a self-reliance practical training. Next slide, please. Yeah. So these are our key success factors. You know, we have achieved a lot. By the population, you can say that at least we're above 50% in most of our these trainings that the federal government has put in place for its youth and others. You know, so the training, the funding, mentorship, that's digitally focused. It's part of our thing. Technology use so that everybody will be technologically an expert. Then the nationwide reach. There's awareness everywhere. Some people have just gone from Kaduna State, gone to Zamfara, gone to Sokoto to create awareness that, no, you can do this, you can do this. The federal government has programmed this for you. It's not for the government, it's for us. So assess it for your own benefit. So that's the awareness they are creating for some rural area, down in other villages in Nigeria as a whole. Next, please. Yeah, institutionalizing innovation. There's policy delivery integration, which we're doing. Head of service is overseeing a lot of MDAs, seeing what they are doing, how far they've gone, you know, and we're data-driven governance now because we're really going paperless. You know, most of our things now we do without paper, we do everything online, digitally. Then this PPP is a very good thing, the public-private partnerships. You know, we have some of our things that we're doing. There are some funding coming from the African Development Banks, and there are some other grants, you know, from some private partners that say that they will key in and assist. Like the other last training we had, NITDA sponsored it. So it was easy for us before we start looking for sponsoring. So this public-private partnership helps to ease the gap in funding for us. So government and innovation enabler. Yes, we are the drivers. The government is the actual driver of innovations, because without them, we can't just start anything. So once they enable us to start, we go ahead and aim for success, you know. And so far, so good. Most of our innovation, we have been able to sustain it because of the PPP funding. You know, we're able to do some. Once the government money comes, we continue with that. When the government money hasn't come, we continue with our private partners. So we're able to do all this, you know. So next slide, please. Yeah, the key challenge is that the funding gap, which I've spoken about, that where the government doesn't release funds sometimes, we go through our private partner, public-private private partnership, which they give us. Then the weak MDA coordination, we are visiting most MDAs now to improve on awareness so that we can coordinate whatever they are doing. This is the head of service of the Federation. We can see where we can bring them in, coordinate them. If there's another ministry that's doing something similar, we bring them together. Okay, you do this, you go from this side to this side, you go from this side, because we are the head. We coordinate everything, you know. So the 4 M&E system, yes, we're working on that, you know. And we've had so many monitoring and evaluation systems that help us to see where we are lacking, and we are upgrading in all those places too. You know, the digital divide, we are clearing that, because the head of service is the one that is housing the OneGov digital system. With the OneGov, we can access all the MDs. Everyone can access each other. You can see what they are doing. So there's less digital divide now. It's not like before. You know, and the OneGov digitalization is still on, and it's very good access. We have an easy accessibility on it, you know. So policy inconsistencies. Nigeria is trying now. You know, some of the policies of the previous governments are brought into the new government. We don't just throw away all the policies, because this is what will help us to grow. Even if new policies were brought in, they don't just throw away that older one. We see how we can get it to a fulfilled standard. You know, so we have still some inconsistencies, but it's not as large as it used to be from the previous government, that, oh, anything that government do, oh, we're abandoning it, we're not taking this one. No, we don't abandon policies like before. You know, we just upgrade. We upgrade on policies now. You know, and I think next slide, please. That's the last one. Yeah, scaling. Okay. Yes. So this, we've spoken almost everything: the digital platform, the e-learning, head of service. We're doing digital literacy. You know, the mobile loans. Almost everywhere in Nigeria, you can access loans through your mobile. We're really gone far on that. You know, the integrated model replications. Yes, we're replicating a lot of things in other states. Whatever we are doing in Abuja, they try to do it in various other states, so that we'll see how far we can see all our models working, you know, and our innovations, because innovation without continuity is useless. So that's why we need to continue with that. So they go into the states and train them so that they too can see how replication can work from this state to this state. And Africa as a whole, anything that works for one country can work for the other country too. It's just how we go about it, you know. So regional partnership, yes, African Union, you know, the African Development Bank, and all these things. There's so many partnerships. You know, we have a lot of NGOs here that are doing some work with a lot of African Union nations, you know. So local adaptation, yeah, we're doing really good. You know, our country, even though we have the heat, is really tearing us here now. We have a lot of things that is working for us. That's why a lot of investors, they're still in Nigeria and they are coming in daily to see what they can do to assist. We have a lot of things that I think China are helping to build. You know, it's a like a bilateral arrangement partnership. You know, so the last one, that's the public-private partnership and global collaboration. I've spoken a lot about this. It's still the same. When you go for PPP, it helps you to gap the funding issues within Africa. You know, it helps you to bridge the gaps. You know, because wherever your government has delay in funding for you, your private partners can help you to do that. So Africa as a whole, in collaboration, I believe we will reach higher than even what we imagine. So I say thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Miriam Abdullahi. We want to say thank you to all of our panelists at this moment. I appreciate all of your innovation shared with all of us. I will turn over the floor back to Julie, who's going to lead the questions and answers. We will only take 2 questions, and then feel free to put your questions in the Q&A. I'm happy to have moderated this session. I say thank you to everyone. Thank you, and greetings from Liberia. Bye.
Thank you so much, Ms. Siata, for moderating this session. As she mentioned, we'll go straight into the Q&A session. We will take about 2 to 3 questions. Any burning questions? You'll see some are already on the Q&A. But if, in case you haven't put up your question there, let's use the raise hand. You can raise your hand, and then we can take about 2 to 3 questions. The Secretariat, please help us to identify any hands that have been raised.
Sally has raised.
All right, you have the floor. Please make your question concise and direct so that we can also manage time. Thank you.
Okay, I am Sally Said. I work as an auditor from Accountability State Authority of Egypt. And it was a helpful session today. I want to ask what's the main role for us as individuals in order to be an effective partner in the innovation in our country, in each country, for members today. Because I feel that from all the presentations that it's not individual effort. It's a governmental or bodies, companies effort. But for me, for my colleagues, what should I do in order to make a vital role in innovation in my country?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Sally. This is well noted. We'll take the other 2 questions, and then we can hand over the floor back to the speakers to address this question. Any more hands?
Mr. Deputy President, you have the floor.
Thank you. Mine is more of a comment than actually a question. And I'm taking my cue from the keynote address speaker. And I think we need to underscore that, one, that innovation should focus on processes and not necessarily technology. 2, in copying innovations, we should be careful of not copying hook, line, and sinker, but we must be able to localize whatever we're copying. How does it fit into our own peculiar environment? In essence, it's saying for me, technological sophistication is a necessary, but it is not a sufficient condition for innovation success. The importance of training and knowledge transfer are very, very important. It's not optional. And that innovation is not a journey, is a journey, not a destination, because there will always be room for improvement. And finally, and very importantly for me, I think the issue of innovation leading to trust, citizen trust, and reliability of public service institutions are also very key. Thank you very much. I will stop there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dada. One last one.
Good.
We're good? Okay, right. So I have one on the chat that asks, can you kindly tell us how you managed to overcome bureaucracy, resource constraints, and resistance to change in the presentations that have been given? I think they were directed towards the presentation from Kenya and the presentation from Zambia and Nigeria. So at this point, maybe what I'll do is that I'll give Mr. Latif from Azerbaijan and also the four presenters, Miss Elango from Tanzania had to step up, so we'll have all the four presenters also giving their comments on the questions that have been raised or any other final comments that they would like to make. So, Mr. Latif, you may have the floor. Give your concluding remarks as you answer some of the questions that have been put on the floor. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Kauzia, just a minute. Sorry, sir. Dr. Kauzia, do you also want to ask a question or do you want to put a comment across things?
I wanted to address this issue of bureaucracy and resistance to change.
Okay, great. Okay, so we will have you as the fifth speaker. We can have Mr. Latif go, and then we can now have the presenters, and then you can also address that for us. Thank you so much. So over to you, Mr. Latif. Thanks.
Yeah, just so that we're clear, which question am I supposed to answer to, or just general concluding remarks?
Yes, general concluding remarks, and perhaps you can also tell us whether your government also had the same challenges in terms of overcoming bureaucracies, resource constraints, and how you were able to overcome those challenges. Thanks.
Sure thing. Sure thing. You know, actually, for the participants, I was supposed to make a keynote speech, right? And that was the purpose of just generally my participation. But I've seen that Ms. Sally actually raised comments in the chat saying that it was just all talk. But in this case, I'd like to speak a bit more about our experience. So obviously, like I said, in 2012, the bureaucracy was really high. Like you'd actually have to wait in queues, long queues to get a single passport. And the advent of Asan Khidmat actually shook the public service landscape in the sense that, you know, everything is very transparent at Asan. For instance, Mr. Kauzia, then Mr. George Scott have been to Asan service. They've seen how the center works and, you know, how this change pretty much came about because it was not always that straightforward. There'd be a conflict of interests. Some institutions didn't really want to sacrifice their convenience just for the sake of innovation. But obviously, in this case, and I believe this will address some of the questions, it really depends on the circumstances. However, there has to be a political will and political backing. If a project has a political backing, let's say the head of the state is launching some sort of initiative like Asan Khidmat or Asan Service, you know, it's very necessary to avoid the conflict of interests and have a necessary, you know, means to enforce your innovation. But in our case, obviously, this doesn't only extend to that. For instance, you know, what do we mean by innovation? As I said, feedback actually matters a lot to us also, because if you don't have any seasoned feedback, you're just going to be stagnating, or at least in our case, the system is not going to be changing at all. It will not be subject to any change whatsoever. So we always incorporate seasoned feedback into this. In some cases, for instance, I'm representing the International Affairs Department, but we have 11 other departments that directly report to our chairman, His Excellency Mr. Ulvi Mehtiev. And it really depends on the distance that you have also with the management, the higher management. What sort of innovations do you present to them? How do you justify them? And that also is the backing that you need in order to be able to enforce this. So I would say that circumstances are actually, you know, they matter a lot. But at the same time, I'd say that, you know, I feel like in our experience, backing matters a lot. How you bring about this innovation, how you present this innovation. And this really depends on whether it's going to be enforceable or not. As I said, innovation alone is not going to be amounting to much. It's a necessity, but you also need to be able to present this necessity as the necessity. But I'd be happy to give any more answers from our general experience if there are any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Latif. I think that will suffice for now. I see Mr. Donald Kacha, his hand is up. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I just wanted to react to the, I didn't get the first question exactly on partnership. How do they get involved? Is it from Egypt? You help me to clarify on that one. But in terms of, I'll start with the comment by it was a comment to say, yes, innovation should actually drive and improve in terms of public trust, which for us in Zambia was actually a scenario where, as the local authority, we lost public trust and confidence. But with the innovation that came in, we saw that being built up, and people now willingly are able to help and be able to come on their own, and compliance became improved up. Hence our revenue going up, because revenue comes from the people, and if they don't trust you, they will not pay. If they have no confidence with you, they will not pay. So hence, with that coming on board, we developed public confidence and trust, and then compliance from them now just automatically switched in. So addressing the issue of resistance to change, rigidities and bureaucracy issues, yes, it's very true. First of all, allow me to state that for you to drive innovation, it should be first an inherent desire. You need to be beyond reasonable doubt convinced to say, this is a problem, and this problem, I need to resolve it. And if it starts with you as an individual, speak to the next person, get a team, 1 or 2 or 3, then get moving. Whatever the challenges, do not back down, let's keep pushing. So this was our case. Regardless of, we did not have any much resources, we did not have enough infrastructure, there was no political will or backing at that time. But we said, this is our local problem, we need to find a local solution. When we resolve this, and we didn't even think to say, when we resolve our problem, it will actually something that will attract another municipality or another county to come in and tap into our innovation. We were just looking at ourselves resolving our problems. But eventually, what we resolved actually was a problem for others as well. So inherent desire to resolve a local problem, or your offering gives. Okay, I'm here. You're getting it? Yeah. Yes. I was saying in Zambia, we have a proverb saying, which says, suffering gives wisdom. I'm sure in other African countries it should be there. When you go through suffering, eventually to make you realize, this suffering is too much, what should I do? So this is what we went through. So with that, it's a first step. Then second, having get the buy-in of your immediate colleagues or support or teams. Then when you start moving, resolve and show that, yes, we are resolving this, then eventually 1 or 2 will come in and then you move on. For our case, we had the issue of the digitalization system for the local authority. When it worked, we went to our parent ministry and gave them, this is what we've done, and it has helped us move from here to here, and we have resolved. Permit us to proceed with it. And he was happy. Then we gained the political will, which was highlighted by the previous speaker. From the political will now, they actually pushed in at national level various expertise to come and interrogate our system. Is it really there? Is it working? Has it there? What happened? So all those that were sent, including other expertise from outside, were brought to come and cross-examine it. And they all gave a testimony to say, yes, it works. It's true. It's real. They've done it. Then we had the political will coming on board, and it went through up to the ministerial level, to the presidency, to the presidential level. Believe you me, actually 2 weeks ago, we had the conference of ICT expertise, a professionals meeting. The presidents of our country had to go there to tell them to say, innovation, and you drive digitalization process, please. Do not be a hindrance. From that, then we brought in on the board of legislative now, which was the third layer. Legislative meaning the acts or the statutory instruments to be enacted so that they can support this digitalization process of innovation. Then these human issues, these actually can be resolved by training, interface, talking to them regularly, because these are local people that my colleagues, like I said, I was the first one among heads of department to say, my public health department will move in. It was just personal will. I knew there were some teams out who were benefiting from it. We have to stop this. Let's move on. So this is what I can say, how to overcome bureaucracy, to win political will, rigidities and resistance. There are stages. You start with what you are with, then you move step by step. Eventually, you have it in place. Here we are today. We are able to spread the innovation to other cities. It's because of we had a higher level of acceptance and coming in to take it. This innovation can work, even at the presidential level. Hence, being allowed to say, spread it now to other cities. But when we started, yes, the challenges were there, and it was difficult to penetrate. But we had to start step by step, resolve the first block that we had, or the first resistance we had. Once resolved, we move to the next one, to the next, until we are where we are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Donald. I think the passion and the resilience therein is quite instrumental in order to drive innovation, especially in light of all these challenges. So thank you for highlighting this. I believe that sort of answers the questions that have been put there. At this time, allow me to invite Ms. Matiwaye from the Kingdom of Eswatini to also give her final remarks, maybe to also address the question on inclusivity and how does this innovation also cater for people with disabilities and able differently. Perhaps you can also attempt to answer that one as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing us to share our innovation and share our experiences as a water utility that is 100% state-owned by the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini. I think, honestly, in closing, for us, it is the core responsibility to deliver value to eMaswati and to continuously innovate in terms of how can we better improve. And from our learning, it's that essentially it's not the introduction of these big tech, things that we bring into our work, but it's continuous assessment of the value chain of whatever service industry that you are in, and continuously asking yourself, how better can I do this? How better can I deliver value? Be it from the perspective of the external customer or citizen, but also the internal employee journeys, to say, how do we facilitate and ensure that the employees that we have, the talent that we have in our different business environments actually have the requisite resources to deliver value to the external customer or a citizen, as it were. So in our instance, we are continuously assessing that these new technologies and innovations that we have introduced, the voice of the customer comes through to say, how can we improve? So a good example is that when we initiated it, it was for the direct customers that have accounts with us. But we learned over time that I, as an employee sitting in the urban area, I'm also responsible for the account back in my rural area where my grandmother is. So I should be able to pay my own water bill in town, but also the application should allow me to pay for another. So another could be my grandmother in the rural area, or my grandmother should be able to buy, vending units. So the app then allows me to pay for myself, buy vending units for myself, but also buy units for my grandmother in the rural area. So this talks to the closing that feedback loop and ensuring there is continuous improvement. So I think in closing, it's to just challenge all of us to continually look for better ways of servicing our citizens while we take care of the internal customer by ensuring that their experience and they deliver services, they are essentially trained and they are rewarded and recognized adequately. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing that response. And at this point, allow me to also welcome Mr. Anthony Thuo to also give his concluding remarks from the Cargo Pay Innovation. Mr. Thuo, you have the floor. Mr. Tuo, are you there? Can you hear me, Mr. Tuo?
I can hear you.
Okay, so we are inviting you to give your concluding remarks as you maybe try to answer some of the questions that have been raised by the participants, including how you have been able to overcome barriers, questions including how do you cater for people who are able differently and cater for everyone so that we leave no one behind. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. As for us, we are grounded on the fact that we have support from the government. So everyone is really, or rather very much involved in this particular exercise. And if at all you are an importer or an exporter, you are able to access our facilities. We are open, that is through the online platform, that is Cargo Pay. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your final concluding comments. At this point, allow me to jump to the jury and invite the chairperson of the jury, Professor John Mary Kauzia, to also give his comments from the jury perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to say is that innovation is not a problemless process. Innovation is a problem-solving process. And when you are in a position to solve a problem, you don't complain about it. So that's a matter of mentality. And I'm addressing this specifically to the participant who asked the question of how to overcome problems of bureaucracy. That question stems from the thinking that bureaucracy is a problem. But when you take bureaucracy as a rule-based way of managing, you see that actually bureaucracy is a solution. The application of rules is not a problem, it's a solution. But once you think that it is a problem, then it becomes a real problem. Innovation does not like chaos. It is a systematic process of finding a solution to an identified problem. So we cannot start by saying, oh, we have a problem. That's the first point. The second is that most of the innovators, if you follow the examples of these winning innovations, they present solutions to politicians, to bosses, to their leaders. So they cannot be opposed because these leaders face problems and they are in constant search of the solutions to those problems. That is why working in teams, partnerships, and service-oriented leadership are the drivers of innovation. If you have a mentality of innovation, you don't think you can solve the problem only you. You have got to have a backup of the entire team, especially your leadership, because you are a solution to them, you are not a problem to them. Consequently, if you are facing challenges of resistance to change, it means you have not communicated effectively the benefits of the innovation. You have not communicated to your bosses, whether they be political or managerial, what you think is a solution to their problem, not only to yours. So normally resistance to change is not natural. Resistance to change is a consequence of poor communication of the solutions that have been found. So communication is a very important aspect of innovation. That is what I wanted to say, not to see bureaucracy as an enemy, and not to think that people are naturally resistant to change. What we know is that the world is changing because actually people are naturally receptive to change, except if you communicate it in a wrong way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Kauzia, for bringing that critical point in terms of even mindset shift. So at this juncture, allow me to close this session. Thank you so much, audience. You have been a very interactive and engaged audience. We thank you for all the questions. Apologies if we were not able to answer all the questions. We shall endeavor to send the responses once we are sending out the report. Yes, we will be sending the recording as well, so you will be receiving that as well. At this point, allow me just to announce that we will be having the 45th Roundtable Conference. It will be hosted by the Kingdom of Lesotho from the 8th to the 11th of December. So I invite all of you to take this opportunity to join us at the 45th Roundtable Conference, where we'll be examining another set of innovations from the continent. And before that, we encourage all the countries to make the submissions. We've seen countries asking how will they be able to submit their applications to AAPAM. All that will be shared on the chat. We invite you to interact with us through email, through social media. We'll be able to guide you on how to go about the submission of your awards. And then finally, in terms of the outputs of this roundtable conference, in terms of the output for the innovations, we have come up with an innovation booklet. We have shared this on the chat so that you can be able to examine all the innovations that we've had since the program launched in 2005, see how the innovations have evolved and where we are now versus where we came from in 2005. So we invite you to take an opportunity and look through this output that we have come up with. We continuously seek to ensure that we do more research on innovation and how to sort of address some of the challenges that you have brought about, including what Professor Kauzia has mentioned is not really a problem, but how to address and navigate them, including stakeholder management and communicating effectively with all stakeholders to ensure that innovation is well received. So I think we will continuously be able to provide more human capacity development programs, more capacity development program, and also to strengthen our partnerships. So look out for more programs, perhaps by AAPAM and ASAN and other partners that we shall be able to bring on board. At this juncture, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Principal Secretary from Kenya, Dr. Mustafa, I see your hand, but allow us to address your question. Perhaps maybe you can reach us, then we can be able to address your question. I'm very, very sorry for that. At this point, allow me to call the Principal Secretary and Vice President Headquarters, Dr. Jane Kere Imbunya, to do us the honor of delivering the closing remarks. Madam Dr. Jane Kere, you have the floor. I would like to invite the Secretary General, Professor George Scott, to give us the direction and guidance on the way forward. Professor Scott, if you will, please.
Yeah. I'm aware that Dr. Jane is around. Maybe she's trying. Let's just spare 1 minute. Dr. Jane? Okay, Julie, so what do you do?
Can you call them?
Yes, sir.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Yes.
Let me just properly introduce you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are very much honored this afternoon with the presence of Dr. Jane Kere Imbunya, who is the Principal Secretary, State Department of Public Service, Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital and Special Programs of Kenya. Dr. Jane Kere Imbunya is also the APAM Vice President Headquarters, which is hosting APAM in Kenya. We are happy to meet Dr. Imbunya, and Madam, you have the floor to do the closing ceremony for us. Thank you, and we welcome you.
Oh, it's gone off again. Okay.
No, we hear you.
Yeah. Oh, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
What a good place to be, and what a good moment for me to be part of this larger discussion that hosts and domiciles Africa's finest. Let me begin here. Once upon a time, there lived a man who's well known and goes by the name of Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker was an Austrian-born American management consultant. He was also an educator. He was also a management consultant, and above all, an author of high regard. In modern world, he's normally referred to as the father of modern management. But intriguing of the many things that he said was a statement that speaks to the gathering that we have heard today. And he said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. The team gathered this afternoon have heed to this clarion call. Rather than passively waiting for the future to happen, all of you today have actually taken a step to shape it through our current actions, discussions, and contributions. Secretary General and members of the AAPAM Secretariat, distinguished speakers of today and panelists, senior public servants and policymakers of Africa, our development partners, young public servants and emerging leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me in total humility to once again say good afternoon, because it is both an honor and a privilege to deliver the closing remarks at this timely and yet strategic AAPAM Innovation Webinar, which is convened under the theme Innovation and Impact, Institutionalizing Innovation in the Public Sector. Allow me to commend the AAPAM Secretariat here in Kenya for organizing such an organized, structured, and important platform for dialogue, peer learning, and knowledge exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, today's engagement reflects AAPAM's enduring commitment to advancing research, professional excellence, and the sharing of best practices in public administration and management across our beloved continent of Africa. The insights I personally have drawn from this AAPAM Innovation Management Award Program particularly has showcased during the 44th Roundtable Conference in the Kingdom of Eswatini affirms more than ever before that innovation is indeed alive across our continent of Africa. That goes to say that African public institutions are generating practical, homegrown solutions to complex governance and service delivery challenges that we face as a continent. It is important to note at this point that, as emphasized in our discussions, our very robust, informative, and awakening discussions, innovations must go beyond isolated initiatives. It must be institutionalized, embedded within policy frameworks, organizational cultures, and performance systems. This is the only way, as Africa, we can deliver sustainable and measurable public value. As you all may know and realize, leadership remains central to this transformation. As public sector leaders and practitioners, we therefore must create enabling environments that encourage creativity, reward problem solving, and promote continuous learning. As AAPAM, we must also strengthen mechanisms for monitoring and evaluating innovation outcomes to ensure tangible impact for our citizens in Africa. As the Vice President of AAPAM headquarters, I reaffirm AAPAM's unwavering commitment to supporting member states in promoting innovation, strengthening networks of practice, and advancing reform agendas across Africa. Platforms such as this, as we have all evidently witnessed, the webinar are instrumental in fostering collaboration and building resilient, citizen-centered public sector. Ladies and gentlemen of Africa, as we conclude, I urge each one of us to translate today's lessons into concrete action within our respective institutions. With the spirit of Ubuntu and togetherness, let us continue to collaborate, share experiences, and champion innovations as a strategic tool for improving governance and enhancing public service delivery across our beloved continent of Africa. As I pen off, I extend my sincere appreciation to the AAPAM Secretariat, our distinguished speakers, and all the participants of today for your valuable contributions and active engagements. Thank you for your commitment, and may God bless you all. May God bless Africa.
Thank you, PS. And on this note, we bring the program to a close. Thank you very much.
Well done.
God bless Africa. God bless Kenya. God bless AAPAM. God bless all the public servants in the continent of Africa. Ubuntu is the spirit that will keep us going. God bless us all.
Ubuntu, thank you. Bye.